before we go to the MPs, have a look at this.
Well, it finally happened. We moved so slowly on climate change that we were overtaken by the Catholic Church. Yes, the Catholics, the only group of people less progressive than the guys that make the ads for Lynx deodorant. We've done so little to prevent climate change that the Catholic Church is taking the moral high ground. The Catholic Church. So, for fear of living in a world where New Zealand is less forward-thinking than Romania, Shell, and the Catholic Church, sincerely, New Zealand, catch the up. Amen.
Well, if this face here looks familiar. You scare me because I can see basically you taking all my work and all my money and stuff like now, and you're like 12.
I am basically 12. I'm glad you could tell. But that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Thanks for coming along to the show. White man behind a desk, the most sort of pronounced or not pronounced, but you know, people get your name wrong all the time, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think there's something about a white man behind a desk, which is just factually true, that people kind of feel uncomfortable saying. They're like, ugh, I can't say white man. It's like, that's fine. That's what I am.
So tell us about yourself. Why did you start making this podcast, or podcast, video, vlog, whatever you call it? What you kids call it?
Whatever the youngins are calling it these days. I love Jon Stewart and I love John Oliver. I mean, that's kind of obvious, I guess. Yeah, I love backbenchers. That's what I was about to say. But yeah, I mean, I love those things. And then I said to some friends that I was doing another web series with, Elsie Bollinger and Sally Bollinger. Woo! And they said, well, okay, let's do it then. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can actually do it. And they were like, no, just do it, it's fine. And so we did it.
And how's it been going? I mean, 290,000, oh no, that was the other guy, wasn't it? Sorry, yeah.
Yes, slightly less than 290,000. We were so excited because we just broke 10,000 and now it's just humiliating. Like, that is nothing.
Because white boy behind on a stage, you know, is, yeah.
White man, yeah.
Hey, but seriously though, people want to check you out. At YouTube, they can go to YouTube, Google White Man Behind a Desk. That'll be you?
Yep, youtube.com/white man behind a desk. That's me.
Now we need to segue to this next bit. So what I'm going to ask you, you're talking about climate change there. It's a topic that often sees people sort of rolling their eyes. Either they have an entrenched position or they just don't care. How do you turn it into something that's funny that people watch?
I think it's probably easier for our generation because like I learned about it at primary school and then we were like trying to save the world in high school and then nobody saved the world. And so I think for my generation we're just like, can somebody please just do something? So we're concerned and we'd like old people to be concerned as well. That'd be great.
We just don't want to lead the world though. New Zealand should not lead the world.
Obviously, you know, it would be terrible if New Zealand were to become a moral leader. Yeah, I'm glad everybody sees that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Go and check out Robbie's videos on YouTube. They're fantastic.
Fantastic.
Really, really thank you very much.
Oh, the talent tonight. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Robbie, for coming along to Backbenchers. What about you, Derek Paul? First time on the show.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that climate change is the issue issue for politicians?
I think it's the #1 issue for our country, absolutely. Or one of them anyway. I mean, it's a very serious issue. And we need to take it seriously.
But what would you do? What would you do?
What, me or my party?
Yeah, your party would do.
Well, we need to have some better goals that we need to aspire to. I mean, 11% under the 1990 levels by 2030 is just not enough. We can do...
How do you know?
We can double that or quadruple that.
How do you know it's not enough? Just saying. How do you know it's not enough?
Well, how do you know that 11% is enough?
Well, because we've got to set a target, right? We've got to put a target to
got
Paris.
we've got to make sure
it's one that we
target,
have to,
Jackie.
but it's one that we also have to deliver on without undermining the New Zealand economy. Because I reckon our economy and looking after all New Zealanders is also a very important thing for us to do.
Is it the most important issue of our time that you'll ever deal with in Parliament? Do you think climate change?
I think in terms of global sense and the future, yes it is. But for us in New Zealand, we have to be very careful that we don't undermine our own economy in setting targets. I think that's a very important thing to do. And I think we've got it about right, actually.
You've heard the message here from Robbie, white man behind desk, trying to sort of take the glaze away from people's eyes when it comes to climate change. But do you think, Annette King, it will be the most important issue that you'll ever have to deal with in Parliament?
Yeah, and we aren't really dealing with it at the moment. And I really do listen to what the young people are saying. They don't want us to leave them in a worse position than what we inherited, and that's the real worry, and that we need to take climate change seriously. Not only do we need to set targets but and on CO2 emissions, and can have the argument about that, but what we haven't got are goals to achieve that. So what are we going to do with electric cars? What are we going to do with renewable energy? Our target is, say, 95% renewable by 2025. We need to set some hard targets to reach the goal.
I might just jump on into the audience just briefly on this topic and then move on. Damien?
All right, well, we've actually got some younger people right here, right now, probably well-formed opinions just waiting to talk. Hello. Climate change. Big worry for you, or something that you don't really understand, don't really care about?
It very much is a big worry for me. I think that the national government in particular is not doing enough to actively combat the situation that is a growing problem and has been for a very long time.
You're obviously not a national person yourself, because you would have said John Key-led government if you were. That would have been the giveaway there. What about you? What do you think? Climate change, big thing?
Yes, big thing. Yep, we need to address it.
Okay.
Yep.
How? What would you do?
Everything. No, we need to get a global emissions trading scheme and actually sort that out, because the emissions that we're having at the moment are ridiculous, and we need to reduce.
Someone said we got one. We got one.
We've got an emissions trading
No,
scheme.
global one.
Well, therein lies the rub, and that's where New Zealand is world leading, actually, and it's up to the big emitting countries to come on board. Well, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It's not. No, New Zealand is punching above its weight in terms of our response. Yes, it is, folks. You still want a buoyant economy? We've got to bear that in mind as well. You still want to look after New Zealanders?
All right,
We've got to bear that in mind as well.
All right, enough of Jackie versus the pub.
Fine. It's fine.
It's not David and Goliath here. Stay with us. More next.